everyone. We are in South London and I want to show you a family's home where they are demonstrating how to use the perfect neutrals throughout. Now, something which honestly brings me so much joy is lots of people say the hallway is the first room to welcome you home, but it's not. Your front door is, your entrance is. And they've got these gorgeous Victorian tiles, which they really wanted to keep because they added that lovely character. So we took the beige tone found in those tiles and we've reflected that in the door colour. So this is Beige10. Now, they're a young family, so security was really important to them. So they've got the Banham locks and they've got the 3-tiered locks in the bronze fixture. Now, let me find the key. I'm going to let you in and I'm going to show you what is inside. And the great thing about Banham is they're a great mix of style and function, but I'm going to show you more about that later. So come with me, come on through to the living room. So this is a masterclass on how to design your homes with the perfect neutrals. Now, this family, they lead really busy lives. So they really wanted from their home this wonderful, calming environment. They like a more Scandi look, and they really wanted to bring color through more of the textures and the finishes that they've gone for. Now, this room is east facing and they spent lots of time in this room in the evening. So they really want to create that more cozy environment with the neutral. So in this room, we have chosen white 06 and colour drenched the space. That white has that wonderful pink undertone. So as you imagine in an east facing room, you get that lovely light coming in the morning. But once it's the evening, you've lost it. It's gone to the back of the house. So we really wanted to balance that out with that warm pink undertone. Now, because they are a family and they've got a little son and now a little baby on the way, the fabric choices that they chose for their finishes was really important. This one is the boucle from Loaf. It's got a clever finish on it, so it's clean, it's wipeable. As you're going through, this is our Supreme paint. So it's got the Class 1 scrub rating, so it's so good if you have like a busy hallway for kitchen cabinets, anything like that. So when you're playing with neutrals, it's so important that you think about your lighting. Yes, the natural light, but also your layered lighting. Now, this couple really wanted warmer tones. So we've got these wonderful brass lamps from Pookie that then reflect those sort of goldeny tones around the room. And again, in the scattered cushions, because the white 06 has a pink undertone, they've paired it with a rust tone scatter cushion, which is really nice to link everything together. TV areas. Now, it's really interesting because lots of people are like, oh, do I have to hide away my TV? Is it ugly? This is such a nice example on how you can make it feel much more aesthetic, especially as this couple loves a more Scandi look. You know, the styled shelving either side like balances us out. It's not too over busy as well. And then having the plants that soften it and bringing in those more terracotta tones as well links in the rest of the room. And something you are going to notice, we have used oak and it's going to run through the house. So this is the first room we bring it in, but I'm going to show you it in other rooms in a minute. Now, come through to the playroom. This must be one of my most asked questions, is what to do with that middle room in a Victorian home, because you'll notice it goes much darker. Now, this is such a gorgeous example. This family wanted their living room to be slightly more formal, but they still want their kids to be part of the everyday and feel involved. So we transformed this room into the playroom. Now, that analog living is a trend that we're seeing more and more. And what's so nice with this, and actually I was just speaking to the mum now, is when her son is playing in here, he is playing, he's present, he's calm, and he doesn't then go into a room with a TV and he's much more focused. When you are designing a space, you really need to think about the purpose of the room. This is a playroom. There is going to be lots of kids in here. So when we were choosing a furnishing, the love seat that we've gone for, the fabric choice is the clever velvet. This is in the coffee bean color by Loaf. And honestly, my son, I've got this fabric at home, and my son spilt his milk, and honestly, you can just wipe it clean. So if you've got kids, I cannot recommend this fabric enough. So this middle room, which I know lots of you are like, oh, it's lacking that sort of natural light because it sits right in the middle. So it gets a bit of light from the front and also a little bit of light from the back. But what you would notice with this space is it casts lots of shadow. So when we were picking that neutral, it was really important that you choose a neutral with a warm undertone. It's going to absorb more of that grey light and it's going to make it feel a lot cozier. So that's why we went for the white 06 in the front room. We carried it on then through into this playroom. It's got that gorgeous pink undertone and we've taken it onto everything. So the walls, the woodwork, the ceiling, which just creates that soft glow. Now, come step in to the kitchen, which is a different neutral, and I'm going to explain why. So opposite the living room, this room is west facing. Now, we really needed to think about the neutral we put in here because if you imagine the sun comes down in the west, it has that gorgeous red undertone that the client found that a little bit too overwhelming and a bit too warm. The kitchen is the heart of the home. They spend most of their time in this room. So we have chosen to go for white 01. Has a tiny bit of grey in it, which knocks back that warm undertone found in the light that comes down. The real talking point of this kitchen are the kitchen cabinets, which are from Solar, and this incredible piece of marble that has that wonderful burgundy vein. That, again, that is bringing texture and colour into this design. And this marble hits that brief perfectly. Now, something that I discuss quite often is finding your red thread colour that links all of the rooms together. What we've done with this house is we've actually chosen a texture rather than a colour. So the oak, which runs throughout every room of this house. So from the moment you come through the house, you have got the herringbone floor from Floor Street that has that wonderful honey tone to it, paired then with the kitchen cabinets, and then picked up again the darker oak in the dining room chairs. And actually these are really lovely. The client had these chairs when he was growing up, so there's that element of nostalgia as well within the design. Now, you might think that choosing a white table is a little bit risky with kids. However, it's all down to the material that you choose. This table is micro cement, so it's so easy to keep clean. So another thing was the client really loves the countryside, but because of work commitments, they have to stay in London. So one of the reasons why they fell in love with this house was of the garden. And when you look out, you don't really see many more houses looking in on them. So their brief was that they really wanted to bring as much of that outside in. So they've gone for this very thin, it's called frameless glass, where there's not much border, so you get as much of this gorgeous view as possible. Then, so clever, they've reflected that into the tones of the artwork, which is a really nice way to, again, bring that texture, bring that colour into the design. Guys, I've said it once, I'm going to say it again, mix your metals. So here we've got the stainless steel sink, this one's from Lusso, mixed then with the antiques bronze. It is such a nice way to bring in a bit more personality to the space. Here, we've got that marble shelf, which is then carried on from the island and reflected over here on the work surfaces. Now, something that I really want you all to consider is kitchens need to feel like an extension of the rest of the house. They're not meant to be clinical spaces. So I really want to encourage you all to bring in the layered lighting. So we've got the nice swan neck. I think these ones again are from Pookie in the nice brass. That wonderful marble light over there that then reflects the tones of the marble found in this work surface. Now, even though this client's preference was more neutral tones, they really wanted to inject those richer, deeper tones in smaller rooms. So come and check out their downstairs bathroom. So this is the room where they wanted to inject that slightly richer tone. So we've got the full colour drench in this room. So starting off, the walls and the ceiling are green 06. Now, green 06 has a blue undertone, which which, when we then came down to choosing the tiles, these are the bottle green tiles from Mandarin Stone, and they have a blue undertone. So what's really nice with this design is these two tones sit harmoniously together, and then going all the way down to the final detail, which is this incredible jade marble sink from Lusso. And what you can see is all the different shades and tones found in this sink to give you that full colour-drenched look, playing with the weights and tones of that green tone. And then again, like bringing in those mixed metals, you've got the wonderful brass with the black, and that's really nice because that's again reflected upstairs. So let me go show you. Picking a neutral for a hallway is actually quite difficult because if you think about it, it's got to work quite hard across multiple different floors and different lighting. So this is White01, and we have taken it on everything. Supreme finish, which makes it super durable, really good if you have, you know, bikes, kids, anything like that, high traffic area. And then we've got the eggshell finish on the banister. And what's really nice with the White01, it's so light and delicate, so it's nice. It's got this warm sweep across everything, and it links all of the other neutrals together. And so when you're thinking about decorating your hallway, the door, we've done a split finish. So on the other side is Beige10, and then this side we've carried on the same white, so White01, as the walls and onto the skirting. But we brought the Beige10 down onto the radiator. We've got that wonderful marble with the same vein as the kitchen. And then when you're thinking about flooring for your hallway, we have gone for a herringbone engineered floor from Floor Street, which carries in down into the kitchen and into the living room. And then what's really nice is the stair runner. They've done a black border, which carries on with that contemporary detailing, which is found in the fixtures and fittings, which is a really nice way, again, to link all of the rooms together. Now, if you've got a Victorian terrace, what you'll notice is they tend to be a bit more narrow and they can be darker. So a great solution to that is bringing in a mirror. This one is from Loaf. And then the final thing that I just have to point out is, I mean, how can you miss it? This incredible chandelier, this one is from Pookie. This really sets the tone for the lighting that carries on through going up into the hallway. Oh my God, this wall runner is so cozy, honestly. I am definitely bringing this into my house. Come now and have a look at the main bedroom. So this is a masterclass for anyone who is wanting to create that really grounding, calming environment. The color on the walls is White06, so this room sits just above the living room. So we've gone for that same white with the pink undertone, as this window here faces east. And then we took that color all the way through into the ensuite as well. And this is really nice. They had these wardrobes that they wanted to make more of a feature. So I've gone for Beige10, which has that wonderful pink undertone, which pairs beautifully with the White06 walls. Now, brief from this client was to create that really calming, serene palette. So as you can see behind me, everything has an earthy tone to it. You've got that wonderful pressed olive fabric with the yellow undertone from Loaf. Layered lighting is so key in a bedroom, so we really wanted to do the wall lights. These are again the ones from Pookie with that lovely swan neck detail. It's got that lovely organic curve which reflects the organic shape of this. This is actually Loaf's new fabric. It's called Egg Box. It's got that wonderful pink undertone which goes with the walls. Now, something that you would have noticed is we've now moved into carpet. And so downstairs you had the wooden floor, but because the brief was to create that slightly more cozier feel, adding a carpet, honestly, it just instantly makes you feel more relaxed. So this is a wool loop carpet from Floor Street. Now, I'm going to show you what we've done in the ensuite. So come this way, coming into the ensuite. Now, they knocked through these two rooms to create that openness. Now, they really wanted a grown-up feel. So they've taken that Calcutta Viola marble, which we found downstairs in the kitchen, up here. This is Mandarin stone, and so are the floor tiles. And what's really nice with that is Mandarin stone do that honed marble, so it's not too slippy. You need to think about that sort of thing because this is a shower, water is going to splash out and you don't want to slip. And then coming round to this gorgeous bath, and something actually that's really nice about this bathroom is there's no overhead lighting. It is much softer, like they've made a feature out of this pendant light to give it that more grown-up feel. And then reflected when you've got these wonderful marble wall lamps either side of this vanity unit, which, I mean, it's unbelievable. It's got that wonderful curved soft wave edge to it. But what you would have noticed is it's in that warm oak, which is that red thread material that they've weaved very carefully from room to room. They've gone for that brushed silver and chrome on the fixtures. And then the vanity unit and the bath are in that lovely Lusso soft white. So this is a really nice environment to do your makeup, have your morning routine. Like I said, it's much more grown up in here. But now I'm going to show you the kids' bathrooms, which have a totally different feel to them. So come have a look. Now, this is their family bathroom, and something I wanted to point out here is the walls, the ceiling and the woodwork are all in white 05, which is our creamy oaty white, in the supreme finish, which by the way is so good for bathrooms. Now, because it's the family bathroom, they wanted to go a little bit more playful. So they've got the blue and cream checkered tiles of Mandarin stone. And what I think is really nice with this house is, even though the colour palette is quite neutral, each of the bathrooms have a very unique personality and they're slightly different. So in this one, the fixtures they've gone for is that nice gold colour, which looks gorgeous against this warm blue. And then finally, I mean that pop of red. It's called the unexpected red theory. By the way, as you can see here, it always works. So you've got that pop of primary found in the terracotta sink. And now I've taken this colour palette up into their son's bedroom. So let me show you. With their son's bedroom, we have taken that colour palette of the blue and the red and the cream and reflected that around this room. So white 05, colour drenched, but what's really nice about this room that I wanted to show you, because the ceiling has a curved edge to it, I really wanted to take that colour down onto everything. But we've done the contrasting woodwork, which adds that lovely little playful detail. That's in the blue 02. It's soft, it's playful, but it doesn't feel too like kiddie. It has like a really nice sort of elegance to it. Reflected the tones again around all of the styling. So the guitar, through to the blanket, through to this gorgeous little racing car. We've got stripes, we've got different textures going on. And then what's really nice when you come over here, you've got the lovely curved edge of this love seat in that broken pot. I love this rust tone, by the way, with the blue. And then we've got the lovely books. So they sit on this seat from Loaf and they read their books in the evening. But this is something I really wanted to point out to you guys, is when you do contrasting woodwork like this, the door, when it comes into the room, this is the edge that you paint. So it's really nice. So that's gone in the white 01, which is in the hallway. This is all blue 02, and this little edge is painted in blue 02 because the door opens this way. And then carrying on with the oak red thread, this nice little side table, which by the way is so practical, because if you are sat early mornings with your baby and you need a cup of tea, you need somewhere to put it. So having a nice side table here is a really nice addition to any nursery. Now, come up to, which I think probably, I know you can't have favourite rooms, but this bedroom up here might be my favourite. But just before we go, come into this bathroom. Now, what's quite nice with this bathroom is we've got this travertine sink from Lusso, and it's much smaller because we wanted to create as much space in here as possible. But again, with the fixtures here, they're much more contemporary. They've got those black fixtures for the towel rail, for the shower, and this gorgeous green tiles from Mandarin stone. Colour wash this again in the white 05. Now let me take you upstairs to the guest bedroom, and this room honestly is incredible. This is the final room, and this is their guest bedroom. The couple went away, I think it was on their honeymoon, and they fell in love with the design in their hotel, and they really wanted to bring that inspiration into this space. So what you can see here is the atonal drenched room. So we've got Taupe 03, which is our dusky plastery pink tone across everything. So you've got it on the ceilings, you've got it on the woodwork, you've got it on the skirting. And now you've got the sticky toffee velvet bed. This wonderful natural curve on this bed. So this is the clever velvet again in the sticky toffee finish from Loaf. And I really like playing with different textures. So over here, you've got that lacquer finish on here with the brown. And something that we've discussed throughout this house tour, which I think is really nice, is you don't have to go for the same metal throughout all of the rooms in your house. Like, this house is the perfect example of how they've used different metals. This is that bronze one, these are from Pookie. And then what's so nice is when they were abroad, they fell in love with these tiles when they were in France, and we managed to find them in Mandarin stone, and they've got that wonderful pink and green colour palette that's reflected in the accents within this room. You've got the aged bronze here on the tab, and then the final red thread is the vanity unit, which is in that oak finish, and that just ties all of the rooms together. Guys, I hope that this has shown you how you can use neutrals throughout your home in perfect confidence. You know, we're always here to help, so drop us a message in the comments. We'll see you all very soon. Bye!